Today, I want you to hear a truth so powerful that, when you accept it, your entire life will rise to a new dimension of possibility. There is a God force inside you, an infinite, creative, unstoppable power that is ready right now to shape your destiny. This is not a theory, not a philosophy, not a poetic idea. It is the very essence of who you are. You carry within you the same intelligence that spins galaxies, the same energy that births universes, the same creative fire that turns invisible thought into visible reality. You are not weak. You are not limited. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are a living extension of divine power, and the moment you realize this, your life transforms. Every answer you seek, every breakthrough you desire, every miracle you long for is already inside you, waiting for your recognition. You are not trying to reach God, you are expressing God. The God force within you responds to your belief, your imagination, your inner conviction. What you think, you create. What you feel, you attract. What you claim, you become. When you align with this inner source, you step into the realm where the impossible becomes normal and the miraculous becomes your natural state of being. Today, you are not here to be inspired, you are here to be awakened. Awakened to the truth that you are a creator, not a victim. Awakened to the truth that life is not happening to you, life is happening through you. And when you activate the God force within, you unleash the greatest power in existence. Get ready, because from this moment on, you will never see yourself the same way again. The source of all creation lives in you, breathes through you, and is ready to manifest the highest vision of your life. This is your moment of divine awakening. The recognition of the God force within you is the turning point of your entire life, the moment when you step out of limitation and awaken to your true, divine identity. Until you fully understand that the creative power of the universe is not outside you, but times inside, times your own consciousness, you live as a seeker, always looking outward, praying outward, hoping outward. But the instant you realize that this infinite, intelligent power is the very core of your being, you shift from hoping to knowing, from waiting to creating, from fear to absolute inner authority. This realization is not just philosophical, it is transformational. It changes how you think, how you speak, how you feel, how you respond to challenges, and how you interpret your place in the world. When you recognize the God force within, you stop asking, "Will things work out for me?" and begin declaring, "I shape my experience through the divine power that flows through me." The God force is pure consciousness, limitless, creative, and responsive. It has no boundaries, no barriers, no restrictions. It is the same power that ignited creation from nothingness, the same intelligence that orchestrates every heartbeat, every sunrise, every law of nature. This power is not separate from you. It expresses itself times as you asterisk. You are one with it in the same way a wave is one with the ocean. The wave may appear individual, but its power comes from the vastness behind it. In the same way, your power comes from the infinite source that breathes life into your existence. When you finally grasp this truth, not as a concept but as an inner conviction, you feel a new sense of certainty rising within you. You realize that the power guiding the stars also guides your steps, and the force that governs the universe also governs your destiny. Recognizing the God force within means understanding that every thought you hold is a creative act. You begin to see your mind as the workshop of the divine, the place where ideas turn into experiences. You stop blaming the world, circumstances, or luck, because you know that the true creative engine is your inner world. If you think small, you create small. If you think fearfully, you create from fear. But when you think from the awareness of your divine nature, you release a power that dissolves obstacles, attracts opportunities, and aligns your life with higher possibilities. This realization demands responsibility, because once you know the creative force resides within you, you can no longer see yourself as powerless. You become the commander of your inner kingdom. When you recognize the God force inside you, you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You begin to trust your intuitive nudges because you understand that intuition is the language of the divine within. You begin to speak with authority because your words carry creative energy. You begin to imagine boldly because your imagination is the instrument through which the divine builds your future. Life becomes less about struggle and more about alignment. You notice that solutions appear at the right time, doors open effortlessly, and people arrive in your life with perfect synchronicity. This is not luck, it is the natural outflow of living from the God force. This recognition also brings deep peace. You no longer fear the unknown because you trust the intelligence that lives within you. You no longer feel alone because you sense the divine presence guiding every moment. You no longer doubt your worth because you realize you are an expression of infinite perfection. The God force is not something you need to earn or deserve. It is your birthright, embedded in your very being. Your role is simply to acknowledge it, accept it, and allow it to flow through you without resistance. When you do, life rises to meet you. You step into your purpose, your power, and your highest potential. You become a conscious creator, awakening the limitless source that has always lived within you. Your thoughts and beliefs are the keys that either open the gate to divine manifestation or keep it closed. The God force within you is always ready, always available, always moving toward expression, but it responds only to the patterns you impress upon your subconscious mind. You may desire abundance, healing, love, or clarity, but if your inner beliefs contradict these desires, the divine power cannot flow freely. This is not because the God force withholds anything from you, but because it operates through universal law. What you deeply believe is what becomes your reality. Your thoughts are not empty or passive. They are magnetic, creative impulses that send out instructions to the unseen world, drawing back into your life experiences that match their vibration. When you think thoughts of fear, doubt, or unworthiness, you unintentionally signal to the universe to manifest conditions that reflect those states. But when your thoughts align with faith, confidence, and expectancy, you activate the inner power that shapes your destiny. Beliefs are thoughts that have been repeated, accepted, and embedded into your subconscious mind. Many of these beliefs were formed unconsciously through childhood experiences, societal conditioning, and emotional memories. But no matter where they came from, once they take root in the subconscious, they shape your world automatically. The subconscious creates according to the blueprint you give it, and it is incapable of questioning or rewriting that blueprint unless you consciously choose to change it. When your beliefs tell you that life is difficult, you will experience difficulty. When your beliefs tell you that success is rare, success will seem out of reach. When your beliefs tell you that you are not enough, you will keep encountering situations that reinforce that lie. But the moment you begin to challenge old patterns and replace them with beliefs aligned with divine truth, you awaken the power to transform your entire experience. The God force does not respond to what you want intellectually, it responds to what you accept emotionally. You may speak affirmations all day, but if your inner belief contradicts your words, the subconscious will always follow the belief, not the statement. This is why emotional conviction is the true activator of divine power. When you feel the reality of what you desire, when you claim it as already yours, when you hold an inner certainty that transcends appearances, you send a signal so strong that manifestation becomes inevitable. The energy of belief is creative fire. It is the force that bridges the invisible and the visible. Every great breakthrough, every healing, every miracle begins with a shift in belief before it ever appears in physical form. Your thoughts are seeds, and your beliefs are the soil that nurtures them. If the soil is rich with faith, abundance, and divine truth, those seeds will flourish. But if the soil is filled with fear, worry, or self-doubt, even the best intentions will fail to grow. This is why inner work is essential. You are not fighting the world. You are aligning your inner world so the God force can operate without resistance. The moment you begin choosing thoughts deliberately, you reclaim the authority that has always been yours. You stop reacting to circumstances and start shaping them. You understand that a negative thought is not harmless, it is a creative instruction. And a positive, empowered thought is not wishful thinking, it is a spiritual command. As you train your mind to focus on what is true, noble, and aligned with your divine identity, you activate the God force with increasing clarity. You begin to see that life rearranges itself according to your inner state. Opportunities appear where they once seemed impossible. Solutions arise before problems grow. People respond to you differently because you vibrate with a new confidence. The world outside shifts because the world inside has been renewed. You become a conscious conductor of divine energy, directing it through your thoughts and beliefs to manifest the life you were always meant to live. Imagination is the most powerful spiritual instrument you possess, the secret workshop where the invisible becomes visible and the formless takes form. Every invention, every discovery, every great achievement in human history was first born in the imagination of someone who dared to see beyond physical reality. This same power lives in you, and it is not merely a mental faculty, it is a divine channel through which the God force expresses itself. When you imagine, you are not daydreaming, you are engaging the creative mechanism of the universe. You are shaping energy, giving direction to divine intelligence, and impressing new patterns onto your subconscious mind, which then works tirelessly to bring those patterns into physical experience. Your imagination is the bridge between the spiritual and material worlds, and whatever you consistently hold in this inner realm must eventually appear in your outer reality. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between imagination and actual experience. Whatever you vividly imagine, emotionally feel, and repeatedly picture becomes accepted by the subconscious as truth. And once it accepts something as true, it begins to reorganize your life to match that vision. This is why imagination is the blueprint of all creation. It sets the pattern before the manifestation occurs. Just as an architect creates the plan before the building rises, your imagination lays the foundation for the life you are constructing. If your imagination is limited, your life will be limited. If your imagination is filled with fear, you will manifest situations that reflect that fear. But if your imagination is expansive, faith-filled, and aligned with divine truth, you unlock possibilities that once seemed unreachable. Many people misuse imagination without realizing it. They imagine worst-case scenarios, imagine being rejected, imagine failure, sickness, loss, and struggle, and they unknowingly energize these images with emotion. The God force, responding to the content of the subconscious, brings forth experiences that match these inner pictures. But the moment you take control of your imagination, you take control of your destiny. You begin to deliberately create mental scenes of success, health, love, abundance, and inner peace. You see yourself thriving, you imagine doors opening. You picture the life you desire as though it is already happening. And as you do this, the universe begins to align circumstances, people, and opportunities to match that inner vision. Imagination works best when it is infused with feeling. A dry, unemotional image carries little creative power, but an image that you feel deeply, one that excites you, comforts you, or inspires you, has the force of creative energy behind it. Emotion is the fuel that ignites imagination. When you feel the joy of your desire fulfilled, the subconscious receives that emotional energy as a completed reality and sets in motion the forces necessary to bring it into form. This is why visualization is most effective when you experience it as a living, breathing scene, filled with sound, color, movement, and emotion. The more real it feels, the faster it manifests. Imagination is also the place where you connect with divine guidance. When you quiet your mind and allow inspired images to rise naturally, you tap into the infinite creativity of the God force. Ideas come to you, solutions reveal themselves, and insights emerge that you could not have generated through logic alone. This is how the divine speaks through images, impressions, and flashes of insight. When you honor these inner visions, you align with the flow of divine wisdom that always seeks to guide you toward your highest good. By mastering your imagination, you reclaim your role as a conscious creator. You stop being shaped by circumstances and start shaping them. You no longer wait for life to change, you change it from within. You realize that nothing on the outside has power over you unless you give it power in your imagination. And once you begin imagining with purpose, clarity, and faith, the God force within responds with precision. Life bends to your vision, the unseen becomes seen, the impossible becomes inevitable. Your imagination is not fantasy, it is divine creation in motion. Alignment with the divine source is not a distant mystical state. It is a shift in consciousness where you recognize that the God force within you is already guiding, supporting, and shaping your life. When you align with this inner power, circumstances that once felt immovable begin to change with remarkable speed. Obstacles dissolve, opportunities appear, and synchronicities unfold in ways that defy logic. This alignment is not about forcing outcomes or struggling against life. Instead, it is an inner surrender to the truth that the universe is working through you, not against you. You stop relying solely on your limited strength and begin operating from the infinite intelligence that animates all creation. This shift transforms how you think, speak, act, and interpret the world around you. Alignment happens when your thoughts, emotions, and intentions harmonize with the divine laws that govern manifestation. These laws are simple. You attract what matches your inner state, you receive what you expect, and you experience what you believe. When your mind is filled with fear, doubt, or worry, you disconnect from the natural flow of divine energy. You create resistance, tension, and confusion. But when your mind is anchored in peace, gratitude, and trust, the God force flows effortlessly through you, bringing clarity where there was uncertainty and solutions where there were problems. This is not magic, it is the natural result of syncing your inner vibration with the highest frequency of the universe. You can feel alignment the moment it happens. Something inside you relaxes, your thoughts become clearer, your emotions calm. You sense a deep knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You stop pushing against life and start allowing life to support you. In this state, you become receptive to divine guidance. Ideas come easily, intuition becomes sharper, and inspiration flows without effort. You may find yourself taking actions that feel intuitively right, meeting the right people at the right time, or stumbling into opportunities that you couldn't have orchestrated on your own. This is the universe responding to your alignment, not your struggle. Alignment does not require perfection, it requires awareness. Anytime you feel disconnected, overwhelmed, or uncertain, you can return to alignment by shifting your inner state. A single moment of deep breathing, a single thought of gratitude, a single affirmation of truth can reconnect you to the divine flow. When you remind yourself that the God force is within you, acting through you and guiding you, you dissolve the illusion of separation. This is the essence of alignment, knowing that you are never alone, never unsupported, never powerless. The power that created worlds is the same power that can transform your life, and it is available every moment you choose to align with it. When you are in alignment, action becomes inspired rather than forced. You stop chasing outcomes desperately and instead allow the right opportunities to gravitate toward you. This does not mean passivity. It means acting from clarity rather than fear. It means moving with confidence because you trust the divine intelligence guiding your steps. Even challenges lose their sting when you are aligned. Instead of seeing them as threats, you recognize them as transitions, lessons, or redirections designed to elevate you. You don't panic, you listen. You don't react, you respond with wisdom. And in doing so, you maintain your connection with the source, which continuously transforms your circumstances in ways your logical mind could never predict. Alignment with the divine source ultimately reveals the truth that life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The moment you align your inner world with the God force, the outer world reorganizes itself in your favor. You rise above fear and walk in faith. You stop living from limitation and begin living from divine expansion. You realize that you are not a small, powerless being navigating a chaotic world. You are a creator channeling the intelligence of the universe. And when you maintain this alignment, your life becomes a living demonstration of the power of the God force within you. Faith is the invisible bridge that connects the spiritual realm of ideas to the physical realm of manifestation. It is the inner conviction that what you desire already exists in the unseen and is moving toward you, even when your senses offer no evidence. Faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is a deep, energetic knowing that the God force within you is actively working to bring your vision into form. When you hold faith, you align your consciousness with the creative principle of the universe. You stop questioning how or when things will happen and begin trusting that they are happening perfectly and precisely, according to divine timing. Faith is the power that turns imagination into reality, belief into experience, and intention into manifestation. The moment you have faith, you step into a higher state of awareness. You begin to think, speak, and act from the end result rather than from your present circumstances. You start claiming what you desire instead of doubting if you deserve it. Faith influences every aspect of your inner world. It shapes your emotions, directs your expectations, and energizes your thoughts. When you truly believe that the God force is working through you, fear loses its grip, doubts fade, and obstacles shrink. You walk with a quiet confidence because you know that something greater than your logic is guiding you. Faith also protects your mind from negative influences. When you have faith, you refuse to entertain thoughts that contradict your desired outcome. You become aware of negative patterns, worry, fear, impatience, and you replace them with thoughts that support your vision. This mental discipline is not forced. It arises naturally when you trust that the universe is responding to your inner state. Faith becomes your inner compass, keeping you aligned with divine truth, even when external conditions appear challenging. You no longer need reassurance from the outside world because your certainty comes from within. Faith is the activator of divine power. The God force responds to your belief, not your doubts. When you believe that something is possible for you, you open the door for the universe to deliver it. When you doubt, you close that door temporarily. Faith keeps the door wide open, allowing ideas, opportunities, and synchronicities to flow into your life. This is why people with strong faith often create results that seem miraculous. They are not more gifted or lucky, they are simply more aligned with the divine law of creation. When you practice faith, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. You release the need to control every detail and trust that what is meant for you will not miss you. You begin to move through life with ease rather than resistance, knowing that every step is guided. Faith transforms waiting into preparation, challenges into growth, and uncertainty into possibility. It turns the unseen into the seen. Faith is your bridge, the spiritual pathway that carries your desires from the invisible realm of potential into the visible world of form. When you walk this bridge with confidence, you invite the God force to manifest miracles through you. When you begin to live from your inner divine identity, something extraordinary happens. You become unstoppable. This is not because challenges disappear or life suddenly becomes smooth, but because you awaken to the truth of who you really are. A spiritual being expressing the infinite power of the God force. When you live from this awareness, you stop identifying with fear, doubt, or limitation. You understand that these are illusions created by the mind, not reflections of your true nature. Your real identity is strength, clarity, abundance, wisdom, and creative authority. From this place of inner knowing, nothing outside you can overpower you, delay your progress, or diminish your purpose. You move through life with a confidence that doesn't come from ego, but from the recognition that divine intelligence is working through you. Living from your divine identity means you no longer see yourself as separate from the source of creation. You understand that the same power that governs the universe flows through your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. This awareness changes the way you think. You begin choosing thoughts that reflect your true nature rather than your fears. You choose thoughts of expansion rather than limitation, thoughts of faith rather than doubt, thoughts of possibility rather than defeat. These elevated thoughts create a new inner vibration, and that vibration reshapes your circumstances. Life becomes a mirror reflecting the power you carry within. When you embody your divine identity, you stop waiting for permission to pursue your dreams. You no longer seek validation from others because you understand that your worth is inherent. You make decisions with clarity and purpose because you trust the intuitive guidance rising from within. You respond to challenges with resilience because you know that every obstacle is an opportunity for spiritual growth. You face uncertainty with calm assurance because you feel the presence of the God force guiding your steps. This inner stability makes you unshakable. Living from your divine identity also means that you bring a different energy into every situation. People can feel it, your presence uplifts, your words inspire, and your actions carry weight. You attract opportunities easily because your energy is aligned with your purpose. You begin to see synchronicities everywhere, as though the universe is collaborating with you. This is not imagination, it is the natural effect of aligning your consciousness with divine truth. The world responds to your inner state, and when that state is rooted in your spiritual identity, everything around you begins to shift in your favor. Most importantly, living from your inner divine identity liberates you. You no longer fear failure because you know that every experience expands your soul. You no longer fear judgment because you recognize your connection to something far greater than human opinion. You no longer fear lack because you know the source within you is limitless. This freedom makes you unstoppable not because you force your way through life, but because you flow with divine power, wisdom, and certainty. When you remember who you are, nothing can stand against you. You walk in your purpose with power, you speak with authority, you create with intention, and you rise again and again because the God force within you is infinite. And when you live from that truth, your life becomes a radiant expression of divine mastery. As we come to the close of this message, let this truth settle deeply into your heart. You are not a seeker of divine power, you are the vessel, the channel, and the expression of it. The God force you have heard about today is not distant, not conditional, not limited. It is the very essence of your being, the creative intelligence that breathes through your thoughts, moves through your imagination, and manifests through your beliefs. It has been with you since the moment you took your first breath, waiting patiently for your recognition. Everything you desire, everything you long to experience, everything your soul yearns for, already exists in the divine realm within you. When you think from truth, you activate it. When you believe from certainty, you empower it. When you imagine from the end, you give it form. And when you align with this power, when you truly live from your inner divine identity, you rise into the limitless expression of who you were created to be. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not defined by the past. You are not confined by the world's opinions. You carry within you the same force that created galaxies, shaped oceans, and orchestrated the beauty of life. This power responds to your faith, your vision, your alignment, and your inner conviction. It is ready to transform your life the moment you decide to honor it, trust it, and allow it to flow without resistance. So walk forward from this moment with a new awareness. Speak with authority, think with intention, imagine with boldness, and believe with unwavering faith. Let every step you take be guided by the knowing that the source of all creation is not outside you, it is within you, expressing itself as your life.